Hey guys, welcome back to Tactical Alliance Gaming. Now, this time we're going to go over the new champions that are about to release. Okay, there's 2 new legendaries, 4 new epics coming into the game along with the new fusion. So, let's start off with the fusion champion, Under Priest Brogni, or Brogni. Brogni. That's how you say it. Okay. Anyway, legendary champion, magic affinity. There's a shock. He's a support from the dwarves faction. So the dwarves are going to get a little bit more love, which is kind of awesome, especially for those struggling with Faction Wars 21. Now, on his A1, Deep Crystal Surge, he attacks one enemy, has a 45% chance of placing an HP burn debuff for 2 turns. Okay. Now, this is bookable. Okay. Up to a 60% chance to land it. Okay, so that's cool. Single target HP burn. You know, it's got some use. Especially in Frostbiter in Doom Tower. All right. Anyway, his A2, Cavern's Grasp, attacks all enemies. Has a 75% chance of removing 1 random buff from all enemies. Has a 75% chance of removing 1 random debuff from all allies, increases the value of shield buffs on all allies by 30% of the damage inflicted, which is awesome. Okay. Also, bookable out looks like to 100%. That's cool, and it's bookable to a 3-turn cooldown, which is awesome. It's even better when you start looking towards Scarab King, okay? He seems to be one a lot of people have a hard time with in Doom Tower, all right? His A3, all right? He's got places a block debuffs buff and a 50% increase attack on all allies for 2 turns. Also places a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns. Equal to 30% of this champion's max HP, okay? And that shield buff cannot be removed. That is absolutely monster. Looks like it's bookable down to a 3-turn cooldown, which is freaking insane. All right. That is a beast, and I think this guy might shake, just because of that A3, he might shake up the arena meta a little bit. Okay. Now, we don't know if he is HP based or not. It doesn't say. I don't have access to the test server to get all of that information. Now, Stonewall, which is his passive. Whenever an ally under a shield buff is attacked, reflects 25% of the damage inflicted on the shield back at the attacker. Also heals that ally by 25% of the damage inflicted on the shield. If there are multiple champions in the team with this skill, only one will activate. So that right there screams Fire Knight. Okay? Fire Knight, Fire Knight, Fire Knight. That is absolutely awesome. All right. And his aura is increased ally resistance in the Doom Tower by 60%. So this guy is built for Doom Tower. He's got some use in other areas of the game, such as Fire Knight. But he looks like he might be a Doom Tower beast. All right. The other new legendary, Void Legendary, okay? Support champion from the Shadowkin faction. A new one coming into the game right off the bat for the new faction. Rijo Bone Spear. Her A1, Absorption, attacks one enemy, places a 15% continuous heal buff on the ally with the lowest HP for 1 turn. Also places a 7.5% continuous buff on all allies with 30% HP or less for 1 turn. Okay. Yeah. I'm not really impressed with that. Her A2, Pressure Points, places a stun debuff on a target enemy for 1 turn, as well as an HP burn debuff HP burn debuff, a 60% decreased defense debuff, a 25% weaken debuff, and a 50% decreased attack debuff, and a 30% decreased crit rate debuff for 2 turns, then attacks the target. That right there will shake up the clan boss teams like crazy. That A2 is absolutely insane. The HP burn, the big boy version of decreased defense, the weaken, the decreased attack debuff, and a decreased crit rate for 2 turns. Then you mix that with somebody like a Vizier or another debuff extender, and that is absolutely freaking insane. You could probably come up with some absolutely ridiculous new Clan Boss comps. Once you get this girl, you get her maxed out, get her booked. That is absolutely awesome. And it's on a 3-turn cooldown when booked. Okay. Now, her A3, perfect body, removes all debuffs from all allies, then places a block buff on them for 2 turns. Also heals all allies. Holy crap. Also heals all allies by 35% of their max HP and by a further 5% for each debuff removed from them. That is a 6-turn cooldown, bookable down to 3. Holy crap. This girl should be throwing it down in the Clan Boss. Looks like she's going to be absolutely insane. And Faction Wars as well. But it definitely looks like Clan Boss is going to be her niche area where she's really going to shine. Her passive, Reflect. When receiving any debuffs, instantly transfers them from this target or this champion to the attacker on a 3-turn cooldown. But she will not transfer buffs that cannot be removed. Wow. This girl right here almost seems a little overpowered for PvP use, especially with that A2. The cleanse on the A3. Oh, wow. This girl looks absolutely ridiculous for Clan Boss, okay? Absolutely insane comps probably coming up here soon. Okay, now Fenshi, new rare Force Affinity. He's an attack-based champion, also Shadowkin. His A1, Hate Blades, attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit has a 30% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. Okay, bookable to 40%. I'm not super impressed. A2, Nowhere to Run, attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit has a 50% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 15%. 4-turn cooldown, looks like it's bookable down to 2. I have heard that one of these rares, or epics, is supposed to have that it was supposed to have changed. Pretty sure this is probably it, that turn meter drop right there. You're talking 50, 60, 75% chance on a 2-turn cooldown. That's absolutely insane. They're probably going to end up, if they haven't nerfed it, well, it's not even a nerf because it's not released yet. If they haven't adjusted this yet, it's probably going to be coming in the future. All right, his A3, Killer Bile. Good grief, can't even read today. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit places a 5% poison debuff on the target for 3 turns. Not bad. Will ignore 10% of the target's defense for each poison debuff on the target. Bookable again, a 3-turn cooldown. Might be viable for Clan Boss. Definitely be fun. You're talking 2 5% poisons on the Clan Boss on every turn with that A3, but it is on a 3-turn cooldown. So you are going to be in kind of the same position you are with like Bad Al now. Having to wait for that cooldown to really throw the poisons on. There's better options as far as getting poisons on the Clan Boss quickly if your team needs that. Such as Frozen Banshee on her A1 after you get the poison sensitivity from her A3 off. With a good debuff extender, you're in good shape with her. You can usually get those poisons on rather quickly. Now, the next one, Giscard the Sigil. Okay, providing I pronounced that correct. Epic Spirit Affinity Defense-based champion. Those are always fun. A lot easier to keep alive. And he's from the Bannerlords. Now, his A1, Foebreaker, attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance of placing a 50% decreased attack debuff for 2 turns. That is bookable to 75%. His A2, Lion's Roar, attacks all enemies, has a 50% chance of placing a Provoke debuff for 1 turn. Also places a shield buff on this champion equal to 25% of their max HP for 2 turns. Okay. Bookable again, 75%. Books down to 3-turn cooldown. Interesting. The Provoke could definitely help, especially in Arena for that control. Is A3, Field of Strength, places a 60% decreased defense debuff and a 50% increased attack debuff on all allies or increase defense buff and increase attack buff. Good grief, I'm sorry. On all allies for 2 turns. That is on a 5-turn cooldown. Looks to be bookable down to a 3-turn. Okay, I'm not super impressed with this guy. His passive, Egotist, fills his champion's turn meter by 15% whenever they're attacked by an enemy under a provoke or increase attack debuff, or buff debuffs. Good God, couldn't they word that better? Okay, his aura, allied defense and faction wars by 27%. Not bad, could definitely be used in a lot of areas. Well, with Bannerlord specifically, obviously. That decrease or increase defense by 27% on some of your champions could be absolutely game-changing as far as progression through faction wars. Skimfos the Consumed is the next one. Void Epic attack-based champion, Demon Spawn faction. A1, Growing Hunter, attacks 1 enemy 2 times. The first hit has a 35%. Good grief, I can't quit looking at that face. That is crazy. All right. The first hit has a 35% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. Second hit has a 35% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 10%. Okay, now that books to 40%. Okay, okay. Turn meter decrease, not bad. I'm sorry, that books to 45% on the second hit. 40% on the first. Okay, there's better champions, I think, out there for turn meter control. Lysandra, Armiger for, an absolute top-notch uncommon. His A3, actually, I skipped his A2. Let's do his A2. So his A2, Clutch of Woe, attacks all enemies, has a 75% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff for 2 turns. After attacking, transfers all debuffs except stun, freeze, sleep, fear, true fear, and provoke from all allies to this champion. Interesting. 3-turn cooldown. And, wow. Bookable to 100%. Okay, that definitely should see some utility there as far as arena. Just bring him in, just kind of keep him fast. Just kind of get everything cleared off, especially if you're a second go team. His A3, Curse Breaker, transfers all debuffs from this champion to a target enemy. Then attacks the target, steals 100% of the target's turn meter if this attack is critical. So, okay, right there, if you're going to use it for something like that, you're absolutely going to want to throw him to 100% crit rate to gank that turn meter. Although single target usable, I wouldn't say high priority for single target turn meter drop when there are champions already there that are doing it on an AoE basis. His passive, Twisted, heals this champion by 5% of their max HP for each debuff on them at the start of each turn. If this champion is under 4 or more debuffs at the start of the turn, places a 50% increase attack buff and a 30% increase crit damage buff on this champion for 2 turns. Okay. And increases ally attack in Doom Tower by 30%. Okay, quite possible. Very good Doom Tower champion. Which they seem to really be pushing hard right now. I'm just not a huge fan of his kit, to be 100% honest with you. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan. Okay, Mordecai. Good grief. All right. Sacred Order, Force-based support champion, Epic. Obviously, there's no new rares in this round. His A1, Purgatory, attacks 1 enemy, 30% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 10%. Has a 60% instead if the target is under an HP burn debuff. Okay. And bookable to what? 30, 45%. Okay. Interesting. So A2, Time's Undoing, has a 75% chance of decreasing the turn meters of all enemies by 15%. Fills all turn meters of all allies by 15%. Okay, there you go. There's a turn meter booster right there. And bookable to 100% on a 3-turn cooldown. Not bad. Definitely can see some arena implication or use there. A3, Heavenly Flames, 75% chance of placing an HP burn debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. And places a 50% increased attack buff on all allies for 3 turns on a 3-turn cooldown when booked. That also books out to 100%. So right there, that screams Spider. If you're using an HP burn strat, that is absolutely insane. So, yep, Gist card was the one that was adjusted. Lion's Roars A2 will have a cooldown of 3 turns when booked. His passive will also fill the turn meter by 15%. So, his A2 is going to 3 turns, which I'm not surprised for. And his passive is going to 15%. So, okay, we get that. They just put that out. Good grief. That is absolutely ridiculous. I still think the best champion here for most players is probably going to be this one right here, Rijo Bone Spear. If you need the help with the clan boss, she's throwing out most of what you've got 2 or 3 champions doing right now with the decreased defense and weaken, the decreased attack, plus the decreased crit rate. Good grief. Plus continuous heals, plus block debuffs, and a cleanse. She just screams absolutely clan boss to me. All right, guys. Anyway, let me know what you think below. Let me know where you think Rijo, this one right here, might be absolutely unreal. Same thing with Under Priest Brogni. Let me know what you guys think of these new champions and the adjustment that they made. Changing out this debuff right here on his A2 up to 3 turns. And by changing his passive to 15%. All right, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Also, don't forget to join us on our Discord. You can find the link also in the description below. Remember, we stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday every week, starting at 5 a.m. Mountain Standard Time to about 9 a.m. All right, guys, don't forget, hit that subscribe button, hit that like, hit that share, all that good stuff. Hit that little bell notification. That way you guys know when we get another video up. We're digging deep into multipliers right now. We are actually playing with a number of things. There's one I'm actually really looking forward to hopefully being able to do. I got to do some playing on the backside just to make sure. But anyway, guys, thanks for stopping by, and we'll catch you next time.